Intro music.
Wait, that's not it.
What? He's no good to me, Dad.
Intro music.
My counties.
Intro music.
Bounty hunting
is a complicated something or other.
I
What
guess
up?
it would be. I guess it would, but he's not really a bounty hunter anymore, right? He's just kind of a lone wanderer anyway.
He is. He's just a wanderer.
But here we are. Hey, what's happening, everyone? We're back. I'm
are
sure
back.
that you're all just chomping at the bit right now because you're looking for anything that isn't election related to fill your voids of your mind, right? So here we are again with Banter and Beskar and Bantha Milk,
Yes.
and we're a Mandalorian
podcast.
That's right. How you doing, Rob?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm doing great. You know, I've been glued to a television set for the past 48 hours.
Oh my goodness, watching the slowest race of all time.
Yeah, yep, and this is literally as much as we're going to say about the election because that's all I want to say about
That's
it because I want to talk Star Wars. We had another episode of The Mandalorian come out this week, and we've got a lot to talk about. First thing you need to know is our social media, right? We are all over social media.
We
Please
are
make sure you check us out.
everywhere.
Everywhere on Instagram, Bantha
Yep.
Milk Podcast, on Facebook, Bantha Milk Podcast, on Twitter, just Bantha Milk. Right. So if you want to get a break from your Twitter feeds from people yelling at each other over red versus blue, come on to our Twitter feed and yell at us about Imperial versus Rebel.
Yes.
Because that's way more fun.
Way
right?
more fun.
Yeah.
You can talk to us about how cool Baby Yoda is.
That's true. Hashtag Baby Yoda is like the big hashtag, right?
Big hashtag.
Everyone will see your stuff, right?
That's
so
right.
Come talk to us.
Talk to us about Baby Yoda.
You can
the
email
child.
us at banthamilkpodcast@gmail.com.
Correct.
You can check out our website that Rob set up. What's our website, Rob?
Banthamilkpodcast.com.
That's it.
Check
it
out.
We got a domain name. You know
We
you
have
made
it.
it when you spent at least $8
At least
on a domain name.
$8. That's right. Spend an extra $20 to do all kinds of extra stuff that I don't do on it.
That's right. And then
Boom.
you want to make sure you check out our parent podcast organization, right?
Yes. Check them out. earsup-podcast.com. They're on Facebook. They're on Instagram. They're on Twitter. They're on Pinterest even. So check them out everywhere.
And Patreon, right?
And Patreon. Most importantly, Patreon, yes. So they're all about Disneyland and rides and stuff like that. And Disneyland may be opening soon, so they might have something to talk about actually again. So check them out. They are the Disney to our George Lucas. They incorporated us into their regime of awesomeness.
They looked under their wing and they went, look at all the room we have under there.
For
And
this
they
little
took us
tiny
under.
podcast. We'll
That's
take this
right.
little tiny podcast under our wing. So check them out and then check out their Patreon also. For $2 a month, you get to say, thanks for all the entertainment that you give us. For more than that, they have a secret show that they do where they give drink recipes.
We need a
which
secret show.
we
need
do.
more listeners.
We
and then
give-
we need a secret show.
We give drink recipes for free. We're going to
That's
talk
true.
all about that.
Yeah, we actually have a drink today.
We
Rob
have
is
a
so
drink.
Excited.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Oh, mine doesn't have ice. Maybe I should have brought ice up.
I have two
Eh,
different cups of ice,
whatever.
but whatever. I can't give you
Well,
any because
no,
you're in a
you can't.
different part of the state.
That's true.
So Ears Up in Depth is all about Disney news. They also have two other websites or podcasts, Scraping the Vault, which is a bunch of guys and girl. They talk about old Disney movies, and it's pretty funny. And then they also have... what's the other one? The Taco Supreme or the Supreme Resort.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, man, now you made me hungry again.
Tacos. And the Supreme Resort where they
Supreme
compare
Resort,
the
our
rides.
friends at the Supreme Resort. Yeah,
Yes.
they have a delicious sounding name. Always a good time. And
Always a
again,
good
now
time.
I want some tacos.
Tacos.
I do have some people, some close friends of mine who listen to the podcast that wanted me to give them a shout out. Unfortunately, they did not send me any drink recipes. Or
Jerks.
offer me any sort of guidance whatsoever. So I'm not going to mention them by name, but just know that I'm calling you out right now. And here's your shout out, your nameless shout out that you did not earn. I do want to shout out to our resident Bantha Milk podcast fact checker, Doug, right? Doug is a longtime listener, and he was chatting with me just during his listen, right? And it was Rex. I guess I had said that it was Cody at the Battle of Endor in our last chat, in our last episode, but it was Rex, right? And if you didn't listen to our last episode, you should go check it out. It is streaming everywhere you get your podcast, probably right here where you got your podcast, right? But last episode, we broke down The Mandalorian, The Marshal, Chapter 9. We have a brand new episode out this week. But before we get into the episode, Rob has a very exciting drink set up here.
I do.
Right?
And
I want to make one.
While I'm doing that, is there any way, Nick, you can check on our Facebook page?
I sure can.
We keep getting our friend who sent us the Mandalorian beer.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote to us again, and I just want to throw his name out there and just say hi to him as well while we're doing all these shout outs, because he's been...
you got it. It's Josh. Josh Dunn.
Yes, because he's been a loyal friend since like episode 2.
Friend and follower.
He talked to us. He made a Mandalorian beer with a beer company out in Chicago a while ago. Sent us all the information about it. It was really cool. And he wrote to us again. Just wanted to give a hey, what's up to you guys? And so, Josh, what's up to you? All right.
What's up, Josh? Now that we've said hi to Josh, and Josh is one of those guys who talks to us about the Bantha milk portion of our podcast so often.
So here
Rob,
we go.
Let's have some Bantha milk finally.
We finally have some Bantha milk. So
I've got some stuff set up here. Rob told me to get these ingredients ready.
Yes. So Nick he's going to fill 1 ounce of vodka.
Oh, and look, I've got my vodka bottle in my nice. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see my Stormtrooper decanter.
Yes.
That's 1 ounce of vodka.
I used vanilla vodka to give it a little extra pop.
All right, so 1 ounce of vodka.
1 ounce of vodka. 1 ounce of blue
Curacao.
Yes,
blue
1 ounce of blue
Curacao.
Which,
of course,
thank
makes
goodness,
it very cosmic.
Thank goodness they keep using blue water and stuff like that in the shows, because I'm a fan of the blue Curacao. Not that green stuff that we had before. That stuff was nasty.
I've still got that same bottle downstairs in my bar.
You're going to have it for 10 years. I guarantee that.
Absolutely.
And then 4 ounces of lemonade, which I have lemonade. Nick took it up a notch by making ginger ale lemonade to make it a little bit spicier.
Ginger ale and lemonade, right? There we go. And there's also supposed to be an orange wheel in there, right?
Right. I did not put the orange wheel in because I felt it was taking away from the whole idea that we're going with here.
Well, what's the idea we're going with?
Well, we're calling this Baby Yoda's Necto Cooler.
There it is, yeah.
Baby Yoda's Necto Cooler. Because if you watched this episode of The Mandalorian,
if you're
Chapter
watching,
10,
we should tell you now that if you haven't watched this episode, you should probably press pause and go watch, right? Because we are going to break down Chapter 10 of The Mandalorian. What was it? The Passenger? Was that what it was called?
The Passenger, yes. It was The Passenger.
So we're going to talk about, I've got some thoughts. I've got some feelings. I've got some issues to talk
me
about.
too.
But there was definitely an interesting snack.
Yes.
That our boy Udall was into.
We find out that Udall, not only does he like to eat frogs, but he also likes to eat frog eggs.
Oh, yeah.
And frog eggs, ironically enough, kind of look like maraschino cherries. So we're adding maraschino cherries into our drink here, which some of you may call a Blue Lagoon, but that's not what we're calling it because of the amount of maraschino cherries that we're adding into it. We are calling this the Baby Yoda Ecto
Cooler.
So I put in, I don't know how many. I just kept putting in eggs into mine. So I just put in a whole bunch of, yours is much darker.
Man, if you see it, like you can see, well, I got these big maraschino cherries.
Okay.
And you can just see all the syrup kind of floating inside. That's kind of, this is gnarly. This is pretty Star Wars looking. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to actually post a picture of this for the gram. One for the gram.
So mine is much lighter than yours, but all my cherries all sunk to the bottom, so I'm a little disappointed in that. All right.
If you see this photo up on our Instagram later, you'll even
mine.
be able to see Rob and I in the background as I take it. So, Rob, why don't you smile for the gram? There we go. All right, look at that. You can find that later on Bantha Milk Podcast, but first I got to drink it, right? It looks pretty good. Let me see what yours looks like.
Unfortunately, all my cherries already sunk to the bottom, but mine's a little bit lighter than yours. Mine's more closer to the color of the liquid that the eggs were in, that Baby Yoda had the eggs in.
Yeah, this is pretty gnarly looking, man.
So I'm taking a picture of mine as well with I have this little Lego Blockheads.
Look at that
Baby
little
Yoda.
bit.
Look at this little guy.
Where'd you get that?
This is a Lego Blockheads. There is a 2 set. It comes with Baby Yoda, which we all know his real name is the child, but we like
all
to
know
call
his
him
real name is Udall.
Udall, or
Right.
from
OGs
last
on
week,
this.
Norman. And then it also comes with
right.
it also came with this little Mandalorian guy as well, which we all know his name is not Din Djarin or Mando, but his name is in fact Kyle.
It's Kyle the Mandalorian.
So, yep. So I got those. So there we go. So I'm gonna post those pictures to the gram as well.
But
with
but
Baby
before we
Udall.
post them, like a couple of millennials with avocado toast, why don't we taste it?
We need to taste this.
Right?
Here we go.
Wow,
Cheers.
they are. Look at the difference in colors.
Yeah,
man. That
mine
is
is
different.
much lighter. Yours is much darker.
Yeah,
Cheers.
here we go.
I could drink that all day.
Yeah, I could not. I think mine is missing some ice. I think if it were cool,
Okay.
it might be better.
Yeah, mine on
it's
ice.
okay.
Is
It's a little. I think I might have added a little too much blue curacao. It's a little sweet. Maybe
Okay.
I'll add maybe a little more vodka.
Maybe.
Little more vodka.
There you go. Why not?
You know, I've never been a big ginger ale fan either. Maybe that's part of the. I don't
could've-
know. It's
did you
not
put
bad.
in maybe too much ginger? I don't know. Since yours is so much darker, I think maybe you put in a lot more of the blue carousel than I did.
Well, since you have the real, I mean, yours looks really like what we're going for. So let's think about our antiquated and
Oh yes, outdated,
elaborate
and
grading system. Where would you slot this bad boy? Right?
It's definitely not going into the any Yodas at all. I don't think.
Okay, so this is not Yoda, whether it be baby or otherwise.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's that high. But what was the second one down from
That'd be
Yoda? Leia sits somewhere in the Leia.
Yeah, like
Maybe-
a slave Leia or like a
Like the middle of the road Leia, like Leia.
Cloud City Leia, like
Cloud
her,
City
her
Leia.
Hoth Leia.
Yeah.
You know, she's all in her general getup, and she's like telling people what to do, and people are yes ma'aming her.
Yeah, probably
she's in her
around there.
glory. You know, kind of in her authoritarian mode. You know, she's a powerful figure, right? And
Yeah.
that was a good time for Leia, right?
That
she
was a
was
good
at her
time.
best when she was saying, "Hey, let's make this happen." All right, so that's a pretty good spot for it. All right, the Baby Yoda's Ecto Cooler. I dig
Baby
it. I'm
Yoda's
gonna-
Ecto Cooler.
See what I
So-
like about the way I have it with the orange wheel is like at the top is like it's the top of the tank there,
Yeah,
right?
that's
So
the
it's
top
nice.
that Baby Yoda kept sticking his hand
Kept
into,
popping
and
off, right?
taking the cherries out of there, taking the
But
eggs out.
before we talk too much about Baby Yoda and his penchant for eating eggs, I believe there is some exciting Star Wars news coming up, of which we have an outstanding bit of music for. So let's
We
hear
do.
it.
Here we go.
It's a Star Wars video game.
That's the wrong one.
Star Wars videos.
That's Star Wars video game. Here we go. Let's try this again. Take 2.
Star Wars news.
Star Wars news. There
You
we
know,
go.
we wonder why we don't have more listeners.
We're such professionals.
Right? This
We
is
are
Bush
all
League.
professionals. Bush League. Oh my
So
goodness.
we are currently looking for a producer, someone who we can pay nothing to do
Mm-hmm.
more work than we would like to do ourselves.
That's right.
So if you're a fan of the show who is better at audio than us, and want to do a lot of work for next to nothing,
We can pay you in Bantha milk if you come. You can drink with us somewhere.
that's true.
Yeah,
That's absolutely true.
that's pretty
Right?
much it.
But we do have a little bit of Star Wars news, right, Rob? What we
Yes.
got going on?
In Star Wars news, I got another Lego set. This
Oh,
is all
well,
the
stop the
Mandalorians.
presses.
I know.
Stop
Stop
the
the presses. This is the Mandalorian Battle Pack. It comes with 4 different Mandalorians, a little speeder bike, some other little things. It's 102 pieces. Pack number 75-267. Look for it in your stores.
Check it out in your stores.
Check it out. But it looks cool. I like it because it has 4 Mandalorian action figures.
There you go.
There's not really much news. That's why I did that.
I mean, we do have the Star Wars holiday special.
Yes,
coming out,
that is
right?
the only
So
real news that we have.
that is the real tiny bit of news, right? Which I guess to some might not even be, but it actually looks like it's going to be great, right? It
the
is the
Lego yes.
Star Wars holiday
Lego
special.
Star Wars holiday special,
which is great because that means it can be ridiculous and that's fine. right?
And it looks like just about every single character from Star Wars history will be in this holiday special, including a Baby Yoda with, I heard, no shirt on. I don't know if
No
that's true or not.
shirt?
Yes,
A shirtless Baby
Yoda. Yes.
We're going to see Baby Yoda six-pack.
We are. He's going to be
gotta
flexing.
cut, right?
Which way's
man.
the beach? Is it that way? Is baby? That's what Baby Yoda's going to be doing.
And Baby Yoda did a little talking in today's episode, right? He's
He's
very
getting
verbal.
there. He's
Yeah.
definitely getting there. He's
I'm
definitely
hoping
more
by
verbal.
the end of the season we're gonna get Baby Yoda's first words.
Will his first words be Lisa Simpson's first words, or will they be Bart Simpson's first words? Will they be Dada? Or no, I'm sorry, Maggie actually said Dada when nobody
Right.
heard it. Or will they be Lisa's or home? Oh my gosh. Bart's first words were, I think it was Homer. I think that was his first word.
I think you're right.
He was like, Dada, and he was like, Homer. And he's like, "Arr."
Man, I haven't watched Simpsons in a while. It's on this like 32nd season, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I think everybody stopped watching it after like 15.
Well, that's probably when I stopped watching because I watched
Yeah.
it. That was like the show when I was a kid.
Oh, my
like
goodness.
I had a pretty strict bedtime when I was a kid, honestly, up until probably a time that it was way too late. But my family always like on Sunday nights we always like stayed up past that time and we watched
To watch The Simpsons?
together.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Nope, not anymore. So that's pretty much it for Star Wars news. Obviously, there's a lot of toys and stuff. We talked about that last week. Even more toys, even more.
Yeah, we've got
you can-
the PlayStation 5 coming out pretty soon, so I'm keeping my eyes forward to that. I've been saving up for the PlayStation 5 for quite a while now. I think I'm just about there. And so there's got to be some Star Wars stuff coming. I'm holding out hope for a Jedi Fallen Order sequel to come out because that was a hugely successful game. And if you go on the PlayStation Store right now and you go to like, PlayStation Classics, it's basically or era-defining games, it's always listed up there. So we can pretty much bet we're going to get some Star Wars video games coming, but it's really just kind of got to sit tight. You got to imagine something's coming for the holiday season, but it's really kind of upon us already.
It is.
So pretty soon you can pretty much bet that we're going to start talking more holiday gifts and holiday toys and Star Wars stuff for you to bring home and stuff in the stockings and such like that.
I think they're going to just slap Baby Yoda onto every single possible thing. I did see a Baby Yoda slow cooker, which
really
has absolutely nothing to do with...
But it doesn't matter.
Nope.
It doesn't matter because I will look at 2 boxes of Band-Aids and one will have Star Wars on it, and I will buy the Star Wars box of Band-Aids every time.
100%. Yep.
I have Star Wars tissues.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have Star Wars hand sanitizer.
Yep.
Didn't you talk about Star Wars hand sanitizer? I mean,
yeah, I have the little bottle of Baby Yoda in his egg hand sanitizer because you need that over the regular hand sanitizer.
I would totally get a Baby Yoda slow cooker. That's fine.
There you go. So that's our Star Wars news. Here we
There
go.
it is.
Outro. One of these days.
Star Wars news.
There it
That would be
was.
the video game one again. Okay.
It was our intro. All right.
Yeah, this is a little syrupy. I
Okay.
think I think I really gotta put ice in it and try again. This
Yeah.
just wasn't.
So
I am glad we've got a drink again.
yes, us.
We do need more of y'all to do the drink thing, right?
If
You're
you
all
can,
sitting
yes.
at home. We went through an entire quarantine. We know y'all went and mixed a bunch of stuff you had at home together. Let us know what you did and slap a Star Wars name on it. It's not that hard to do. Rob just did it
I just did it.
Come
we
on,
just
man.
mid up the name 2 minutes ago before the show started.
on the spot.
So you can do it too, and it'll be more fun because then we'll say your name in the process.
That's right. I did have one more shout out. I just wanted to realize now this one hasn't really been earned either, but she is a new listener and she is a buddy of mine, and I want to encourage people to listen to us, right? So Christina, my friend Christina out there, she actually came and hung out at our place today, but she is a new Mandalorian, or I don't know that she's not a new Mandalorian watcher, but she is a new listener to the Bantha Milk podcast, and we're glad to have her listening.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Yes, but we've actually had a little bump in in listeners over the last since the season's come out. I think a lot of that has to do with people just excited about the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens after today because I don't know how long this episode's going to be. There wasn't a whole lot to unpack in this episode.
No, there wasn't a lot of Easter eggs. There wasn't a lot of stuff, but we did get a lot of questions answered in this episode. Not necessarily the questions that you wanted answered, but there were some questions answered. And we will now break down the episode of Chapter 10, The Passenger.
The Passenger, that's right. So this is your warning, your one and only. This is actually like your third warning. So if by now you're still missing it, it's really on you. But yeah, we're going into spoiler territory.
This is your one and only warning for the third time that there may be spoilers.
Yes. So yeah, what I guess we start our journey here still on Tatooine.
Yeah,
right?
so
Just kind of moseying back to town.
We leave the last episode by seeing what everybody assumes will be Boba Fett because it was the character who played Boba Fett.
Right. That's,
and on IMDb, he was listed as Boba Fett, so everybody's assuming that it's Boba Fett.
Temuera Morrison, right?
Yes.
The actor.
So we thought for sure we were going to see more of him in this episode, and we start off on Tatooine. Our boy Kyle's flying his speeder bike at Mach speed across the desert, which, by the way, I noticed on episode 9, when Timothy Oliphant was talking to him, they're flying on the speeders, no helmet, his hair's barely moving, and he's going super fast, and he's just talking normal voice, and Mando
it's that space moose.
Yes, Mando could hear everything he was saying. His hair wasn't moving at all, and he's seated right next to a jet engine. Yeah. So, a little problem there, I see. But anyway, that was Chapter 9. We missed it.
They really need to know who they're messing with Star Wars.
That's right.
It's all but fans who are just going to be nitpicky about that sort of stuff.
Nitpicky about everything. His hair should be all the way back. He was going
and
so fast.
And he's got a Mandalorian helmet right there.
Wear the helmet. Oh gosh, kids these days. Right. All right, so we start. No respect
at all.
No respect for Boba Fett's armor. So he's flying through the desert, trying to get back to his good friend Amy Sedaris, and sure enough, there's some bandits out, and they see him, and they do the old tripwire trick to him.
He gets
clotheslined.
I don't know how he didn't see that coming. Like he's wearing his helmet. Why doesn't he just always have like the watch for bad guys button pressed?
Yeah, and especially like you're flying through a cavern. You know this is the area that you're going to get. If you're going to get ambushed, it's going to be in this cavern.
You also happen to know that people might or might not be looking for you?
Yes. Or just, Amy Sedaris was talking about how Wild Wild West Tatooine is right now. So looking for anybody. They were just looking just to steal stuff. They didn't care who it was. They wanted to just take his stuff. So so he gets clotheslined. Poor baby Udall, our good boy Norman.
Dude, I was worried.
Yeah, man, he was like
he took a tumble,
but he got up like a champ.
Yeah, I mean we've seen the sort of abuse that his species can take. Mm-hmm. I mean, Palpatine threw giant Senate chamber seats down on Yoda, and he jumped away like a deranged frog. So,
that's right.
They've got some dexterity in them.
That they do.
Yeah.
So then they try and fight him. Of course, our good boy Kyle takes them all out except for one. Yeah. And then that one has
And that
a knife.
one, by the way, he looks like the same. I feel like we've seen him in the movies before, that same sort of creature.
Okay.
I don't know in what, but he definitely, maybe in episode 7, The Force Awakens, isn't there one of those guys who is trying to net BB-8? Didn't he kind of look like that?
Yeah, he looked a little like that.
Tito,
yeah.
Maybe it was a Tito. I think that's what they're called.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. But
Doug, if you're here, let me know if I got that right. I think they're called Titos.
Doug, let us know in the chat.
Because it was weird. I know in the movie when you watch it, Rey, when she tells the dude back off, she's like, that's Tito, and I was like, oh, is that dude's name Tito? But when you listen to the book, I listened to the book on audio. She says that's a Tito. So I don't know if it's like a specific
if it's his
race
name or if it's a race
being. Yeah. So, but anyway, that's the last guy, and he's got a freaking vibroblade up to little Norman's throat.
Yes,
and I just want to just.
Yep. Well, you saw our boy Kyle. He was like, oh no,
he took care of it.
He's like, you can have anything you want. Just put the kid down. So then he put him down. For
whatever reason, he chose the jetpack.
He chose the jetpack, and Kyle was like, "Sure, you can have it. That's fine.
Go for it.
Go for it." So he gave it to him. little baby Udall, little Norman running across, like going to Daddy, like you're just waiting for him to say Daddy, like pick me up.
Yep.
He scooped him up and he saw he was okay, and then Kyle goes, okay, now it's time, and he pushes a button on his wrist, jetpack flying in the
Straight
air.
up. Who didn't see that coming?
So he got his jetpack back, to say the least. So
He sure did.
Jetpack Gone Wild was a fun little segment there. Then he goes back and he's talking to our good friend Amy Sedaris, and she was fast talking and witty and playing cards with a giant cockroach.
Yeah, so she was definitely playing Sabak, by the way.
Yes.
And I got serious Honey, I Shrunk the Kid vibes from that. What they call him, Dr. Pincers or something. I forget what they called him.
Yeah.
But maybe that's that might have been an Easter egg I missed, and that was like an actual character from the books or something.
I don't know, but it definitely looked like from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That's 100%. I agree with that.
Yep. And it freaked me out, man.
Yeah, he was a weird dude. I was like, okay.
But it did seem like I like a lot in this episode. I feel like a lot of this just kind of felt like filler.
Yes.
And I have my feelings about filler. Filler has its purpose, like for art's sake. Like there's a lot of times where I'm watching something and I'm like, well, this seems like it's going on a little long. This could probably go on quicker and tell more story. And I get that, part of this is it's a piece of art and you're showing a visual piece of art, but some of it is just like but I don't know, when you're giving us 8 episode seasons, there shouldn't be any filler.
Yeah, we don't need filler when there's 8 episode seasons.
Especially since this episode really, to me, felt like almost all filler. It just seems like if you have 8 episodes, each second of screen time is valuable real estate, and you need to give us something.
Yes.
And so I don't know.
Like
This is just the beginning of that for me.
Last week I felt, until I realized what his full mission of the season was, which I assume the giant story arc is that he's going to keep finding all the different Mandalorians to try and find his way to baby Udall's family.
Right.
So last week I was like, okay, we didn't get anything out of this because we didn't find a Mandalorian. But then, like I said, at the end of last week, he at least checked off that, nope, that's not a Mandalorian. Right. So he kind of did go forward. But this one, we didn't even get there. There was nothing at all. We left off in almost the same exact place that we started.
Yeah, I distinctly at the end of the episode, I remember going, oh, that's it? We're done?
Yeah, like, come on.
But and like the first season, and we talked about this in our first season of the show. The first season, there are at least, especially like the first 3 episodes, really feel like one long episode, and then you've got so these so far that first season. The first season was amazing, and I loved the first season, and every episode was great. But I think the first season translates better as a full season instead of episode by episode.
Correct.
It's one whole story, and I think by the end of this season, we'll see that too.
Yes.
But that doesn't translate well when you're releasing them one at a time.
Right.
For the whole binge watch thing that the world has kind of been enamored with. That works great if you're going to release them all at once. But if you're going to do it 1 week at a time, you're going to get some disappointed people, and that might affect your viewers for the next week if they were like, but it was kind of crummy last week,
Right. Like this almost feels like it was like part 1 because of where we left off. I mean, we have to go to the next planet with the passenger still. Otherwise, you're going to be like, what? Like, if she's not there, if he's somewhere else next week, then it's like, okay, that was a complete waste of time, a complete waste of a week and whatever. So
I'd bet you can guess that she's going to somehow wind up being relevant and important to the story. But again, we don't know that now. Right now, we're just like, oh, this was just kind of
right now we're like, So maybe when we rank them or review it at the end, maybe ratings will change compared to what we're rating this episode now. And maybe Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are just sitting back laughing at everybody who are saying this episode wasn't very good because they know where it's going. Nobody else does. Maybe it's going to come back to it and it'll make this episode that much better. But as of this point,
Yeah,
so,
kind of not so good, right?
Yep.
But we move on, and I definitely... Did you see like something that reminded you of Johnny 5? We were going through and I saw like these eyes and I'm like, that is Johnny number 5. Anyway, so I guess they talk and they decide that they have to take in this frog lady and her backpack full of maraschino cherries.
Maraschino cherries, yeah.
Right.
She had maraschino cherries that that Baby Yoda very much liked to eat.
Yeah, I don't know what his thing is, but I'm not sure because she didn't seem too concerned with the fact that he was kind of chowing down on these things. Like, did she keep
I don't think
account?
she knew. I don't know. Because there were so many in there, I don't think she kept a count. I think she just knew that they were all... Like, if she came down and there was one left, then I think she would be a little bit more aware of the situation. But, yeah. So, episode 4 of season 1, we saw Baby Yoda eat a frog. And now we get to see him eat frog eggs also in this one.
Wouldn't it be gnarly if, like, I mean, we keep seeing Baby Yoda eating animals, and like we saw that, and we keep calling him Baby Yoda. I'm just gonna get it's just what comes to mind anyway. And we saw he like kind of started to choke Gina Carano's character last year because she thought that Mando was so like this twisted little character's kind of got a dark side, and the only other character we've seen of this species is Yoda, and we see how powerful Yoda was. Wouldn't it be crazy if Yoda was like an outlier in his population where like they all use the Force, but a lot of them can get pretty dark and twisted?
Yeah.
And we see like that maybe this guy's gonna like go the other way, and he's like kind of a carnivore. And,
he's just like
he likes the taste
evil
of flesh.
one. Yes. That would be pretty funny if it turns out to be like horror Baby Yoda.
Yeah, man. I'd be
So,
dude, I would totally watch a Star Wars horror film wherein the bad guy was a twisted Baby Yoda, or not, but like a fully adult Baby Yoda version.
Okay,
that has not only increased in their knowledge of the Force, but grown a taste for human flesh.
For flesh, and was eating people in the process. Yes.
Oh man, that'd be a great Star Wars.
He's like Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So yeah. So there we go. So they're on the ship. We see him eat the eggs. Everybody thinks it's funny because he's eating these eggs, and it was a very good comedic moments there when he pops the egg into his mouth, and Mando's like, "Stop it!"
Yep.
But we do find out some important things at this point in time. We do confirm that, in fact, as we have said numerous times, the Razor Crest is not the name of the ship, but it is the type of the ship.
Right, Razor Crest class, right.
Razor Crest class N111 is the full registration number of the ship.
Right. And I love that the entire impetus for this entire episode is they're getting just like jerked around for like expired tags.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it came down to. Your registration's out of date. Pull over.
Yep.
No. I can't. I have things to do.
Yep.
So, we see 2 X-Wing pilots. The one's name is Carson. His real name is Paul Sung Hoang Lee.
Yeah, he was new. I haven't seen him before. We saw Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni was there. Trapper Wolf was back.
Okay.
Which is interesting because the last time we saw Dave Filoni was in that same episode that they talk about when they ask him if he says, were you near the New Republic Correctional Transport Bothian 5?
Right.
Which was the last time that we saw Dave Filoni, because at the end he blew up the bad guy or whatever.
That was the episode with Bill Burr with
the
basically the bad guy, the Suicide Squad episode, right? Yeah. That was my favorite episode of the season. That was a great episode.
Yeah, it was a great episode. So that was the last time we saw Dave Filoni, was that same episode that he was talking about.
Yeah.
But Paul Sung Hoang Lee, he's a Canadian actor and comedian and has been in a bunch of Canadian TV shows, but this is the first time that we've seen him as part of the Star Wars universe.
All right, rock on.
So there we go. So that's him. So yeah, so they say, I liked when, so Mando said to them, "May the Force be with you," and they go, "And also with you." So he knows about the saying.
Yep.
But
I thought the same thing.
He doesn't know what a Jedi is.
I guess, I mean, it doesn't seem like it was that long since, I don't know, since the Clone Wars. But again, I guess a massive propaganda system from the Empire over that 30 years or so to try and make the Force be like a legend instead of what it was. But May the Force be with you might have just become like a greeting. People might not even connected it with anything.
Don't even know what it's for. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I say, bless you when people sneeze. Do I think that they're gonna die? Probably not, but it's what I say.
But it's just continued for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So, and this is when we get the answer to question 1. My first question is, all of these questions come from the trailer that we watched, and now we get to see some of the actual answers.
Yep.
Were the X-Wings chasing or escorting the Razor Crest?
They were not escorting.
They were not escorting. They were,
No.
in fact, chasing him. So,
And we definitely saw the fruits of that in another episode where we, in our trailer breakdown, assumed that it was limping into station or something. We definitely saw that scene.
Yes. So that's all the way at the end. But so we see that they're chasing him. And then question 2, we thought that the snow planet was Ilum.
Right.
Which apparently, I mean, if it was, maybe he goes back to it. I don't know. But as of this point, it doesn't seem like it was Ilum. It just seems like a planet that he was flying past.
Some serious red herrings in this episode, and it kind of bummed me out. Because, at the end, and we'll talk about exactly what happens in the episode, but we all know it's Star Wars, and so we all know that at the end of the day, some Deus Ex Machina is going to come by and save the day. And usually that Deus Ex Machina that saves the day in Star Wars is the Force or like a character we know. But it seems like they're kind of going for the D&D, David Benioff, D.B. Weiss, subvert expectations thing with this episode, right? So it just feels like they gave us all these hints for all these things that might have come this episode.
Right.
And at the end went, nah, just kidding.
Nope.
Right?
None of it's there.
Because this planet or whatever it is that they land on, or I should say crash land on.
Crash on, yeah.
First of all, these creatures that come out, when our boy Udall is kind of waddling over to these little domes sticking out of the ground, first of all, you always know that's not going to go out well.
No.
These clearly look like eggs. But again, I thought we were getting more Knights of the Old Republic stuff, right? Because...
Yeah.
In Knights of the Old Republic, there is this spider-like creature called a Kinrath.
Okay.
And they dwell in lightsaber caves.
Okay.
Right? And so I see this little spider-like creature. I'm like, oh, this is totally Ilum. They're in a lightsaber cave. And you can even get they would, in the old canon before they changed it, because now to get a red lightsaber, there's a whole bleeding your lightsaber crystal thing that you have to do. But in ye olden days of before Disney bought it, bad guys just liked red lightsaber crystals because it made their lightsaber look pretty cool.
Okay.
And they would get synthetic lightsaber blades, and that's what made them red. But you could also, in Knights of the Old Republic, you could get a red blade out of, I believe, a Kinrath egg. And so we saw these eggs, and I was sure we were going down that alley. But we didn't.
We didn't.
We didn't go down that alley.
We didn't see any hints that there were lightsaber crystals around anywhere.
No, and then we have this big chase with a giant Kinrath, and we think they're getting away, and they don't. And then, when of course at the very last minute, first of all, I kept on going, why aren't you using your fire? Use your fire. We know you like your fire.
Well, he did.
And then eventually he just goes, they winked at us again, right? They looked at the camera and they winked when they just went, psh, and the little fire
the little blue
up.
little blue flame star,
Yep.
it's just getting ready, and then boom. So so I had that written down also, that flamethrower watch check. 2 episodes in the season, twice this episode, and once last episode.
Yep.
Little fun fact, the Frog Lady was played by the same person that played Queel in season 1. Her name is Misty Rosas.
Okay.
And she played both Queel, and now she plays Frog Lady. So she did such a good job that they kept her around to play another puppeted character.
And isn't she literally listed in the cast listing as Frog Lady?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the if you're watching on closed captioning, because
right.
I was watching closed captioning because I wanted to make sure I got all the wording correct. It just said Frog Lady, right. And then it said speaking like frog language or something like that.
Frog-like language, right?
Yeah, frog-like language. Yeah.
Yeah. And so at the end of this whole thing too, like I said, this Deus Ex Machina thing we're waiting for, something's going to save the day. It's going to seem like they're going to die, and something's going to save the day.
Right.
And of course, it's going to be someone we know, right? Why would
Yes.
this? Why would this end on So we saw the Boba Fett at the end of last episode. This is going to be Boba Fett, or we're waiting on one of. This is going to be Sabine or Bo-Katan or
Somebody
or this
that
is gonna
we're
be
waiting
Ahsoka.
for. Yeah.
You know, this is like they're it's in a lightsaber crystal looking cave like this. It just seems like and then it's these guys again.
It's the pilots
It's-
again, the
it's
two
Dave
X-Wing
Filoni
pilots.
to the rescue.
Yeah.
You know,
and they're
which
just
is
like
cool,
right.
but like it's not.
So they talk about how Mando did good when he was bad, so they're gonna let him go. So they save his day. They save him. His ship's a mess because of falling and crashing and all that other stuff. And then the two diligent X-Wing pilots, in the amount of time that Frog Lady decides that she's gonna go take a spa day.
Yeah,
and
how do we
go-
miss that? We didn't even
Yeah,
mention this
we
weird
didn't even-
freaking
Yeah.
hot tub jacuzzi that she decided she was going to hop into in the
She
middle
finds in the middle of a snow planet. All his armor started getting like ice crystals and stuff on it, but the Frog Lady wasn't shivering at all. Like maybe frog people aren't cold-blooded the way they are on Earth, but still, she was wearing just a robe, and all of his armor had frost on it. So it's got to be cold, and she's chilling out in this little hot tub spa thing. When baby Udall, when our good boy Norman there goes and decides, well, you're not going to let me eat the red eggs? I'll go eat these white eggs over here instead.
Yep.
There was a lot of parental overlaying here, like Mando caring about baby Udall in the beginning. And then
Right.
the frog mom worrying about her eggs because she's the last of her kind, and these are her last set of eggs that she could ever hatch.
Right.
And then Spider Mom coming to the rescue after baby eats one child, then all the rest of them attack. And they could have just sat there and just been like, oh, there's one down. I have thousands of these eggs laying here. But instead, Mando goes and kills all of them. And
All
then
of them.
And then
Not
when it's
just
almost
the
too late,
spider men, but the spider women and the
the
spider
chi-
children.
and the children too. And then the X-Wing pilots come back. They save the day. And then they say, we found out that you did in fact break into the prison, but we saw on the tape that you tried to save the guy that your other people killed, and you left us 3 other bad guys, so we're going to let you go. And then he goes, could you help me save my ship? And they're like, nope. See ya. So
Have
they're
fun.
total jerks there.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, we're not going to arrest you. We're not going to kill you, but we're not going to save you either. So if you manage to get off all by yourself, get your beacon fixed already, pal, would you?
Yeah.
So,
And
yeah.
then that was it.
And then the very end, we got question 3 answered, which was, you kind of mentioned it earlier about how we see the ship at the end. He does fly away, and the ship is all battered, which is what we saw in the trailer. And we were like, oh, he must have been in an awesome battle out in space. Nope, he just fell through a snow planet.
Yep.
And then that was it. I only had 1 page of notes.
Yeah, I had very little. I did make mention of the fact that he called the bathroom the privy.
Okay.
So I'm just confused because the privy is a very medieval term, you know. Like,
Okay.
So they've called it the back tube.
They called it the back
They've
tube
called
before.
it the privy. Mm-hmm. What is it? What
When
do
are they
we
gonna
call
call
a bathroom in the Star Wars?
When
I'm
are they
having a
gonna
really
call it the
hard
John?
time.
Yeah.
The John? All right,
The John,
I'm
yeah.
A-okay with that. All right, so we're just going to call it the John. But that's, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little disappointed. Like I said, when you're given such little real estate, I feel like you have to make every minute of screen time count. And I feel like this one didn't count. And maybe, and hopefully, in another couple episodes, I'll look back on this when I go, wow, I can't believe that. Or wow, but I don't think I will.
In season 1, they had one of these episodes, kind of like episode 4 when he went to the planet where he met the lady who had the child and stuff.
Kurosawa.
They saved the planet from the raiders and stuff like
Yeah.
that and whatever. That was kind of like a throwaway because in that episode. They really didn't get much further developing the story, other than I guess that's when you met Cara Dune also.
Right.
But they tied it in a little bit by later on having Cara Dune going with them at the end to try and defeat the bad guy. But we haven't seen Moff Gideon at all. We have no idea what his plans are, where he is. We haven't seen Bo-Katan or Ahsoka. We haven't seen anybody that we're, predicted to see this season. Heck,
we got to see a second of Boba Fett, and then that was it.
Yeah.
It's like the end of Last Jedi when we got to see Luke, and we were excited, and we went, I can't believe that's all we got. Like, that's
right.
where I feel it right now.
Yeah.
They do too much of that in Star Wars. Like, if you tease something cool, give us something cool. You know what I mean? Like, I there are certain legendary characters in Star Wars that I feel like they just want to give us little tastes of, but they don't want to. They're like scared to mess them up, so they won't like do anything else with them, and that's lazy. I think. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little pessimistic. I've been watching like 4 different news channels for the past 3 days, but. I turned on The Mandalorian this morning going, I need a break. And I turned it on and it was over and I went, that's it? That was it?
That was it?
I got to turn the TV back on now?
Yeah, now I have to go watch the news again and find out what's going on. Yeah. And this didn't even really it wasn't even one that you were like, oh, I got to watch it again. I want to watch it a second time and a third time.
That being said, I probably will.
I mean, I will. I totally will.
There were some great visuals. The fight scene in the beginning was pretty darn cool. And I mean the whole, chase from the spider thing. The spiders were cool, but
right.
I'm not necessarily in Star Wars because I want to see awesome spiders chasing after Mandalorians. I'm in it because I think it tells really good stories in a really cool universe.
Watching the frog lady start running and hopping was kind of funny also.
That was pretty cool, right?
Cool.
It's like she's running. Oh, she's really running.
Oh,
now,
I got to go faster now. So she started hopping like a frog, which was cool. Yep. I mean, so we haven't done this yet, but I'm going to suggest that we start doing this now where we like rate the episode. We can rate it out of like Mandalorian helmets. 5 Mandalorian helmets is an awesome...
5 Mandos.
5 Mandos is an awesome episode. I think this one...
I'm going to put this at a firm 2.5 Mandos.
Okay. I was going to go solid helmets and just go to a 3. But a 2.5 to a 3 is a very legitimate rating system for this one because...
I would definitely give Chapter 9, the last episode, that would be more in the 3.5 to 4 range.
Yeah, I would definitely go. I would go 4 because it was and if you would have asked me after watching it once, I probably would have given it a 2.5. But once I realized why, I'd definitely move it up. Right now, this one 2.5, 3. Also, like maybe 2 or 3 episodes from now when we find out why we wasted 41 minutes on this. Maybe the rating system will change, but as of right now, it was a 3. It was a 2.5.
I'd agree. Yeah, and if we would like to definitely hear what you have to say. Maybe we missed some stuff. Maybe there's some stuff that went completely over our heads that make this the best episode ever. If that's the case, we want you to let us know.
Yeah, please do.
BanthaMilkPodcast@gmail.com. Also on Facebook at Bantha Milk Podcast and on Instagram at Bantha Milk Podcast. Also on Twitter at Bantha Milk, right?
You got it.
At our website at banthamilkpodcast.com. But
and if we missed any Easter eggs, because we really didn't see much, so if we missed any, let us know that also, because
become one of the official Bantha Milk Podcast fact checkers.
Yes,
right, along with Doug. Right, Doug's pretty much the guy who does our fact checking right now. But we'd love more. Send us some drink recipes. Send us some unmarked $100 bills.
Nice.
Whatever you want to send us.
Whatever you want to send us, we'll take it.
But that's all we have for the episode today. It was a pretty serene, not too much going on episode. We'll see.
It was
what
cool.
Implications it has.
It was like you said. It was cool. It was visually cool. It answered 3 questions about the trailer that we got all 3 wrong.
Perfect.
So that helps. That
business as usual.
Business as usual. We were 0 for 3 on those predictions. So maybe we'll get some more answers in some upcoming episodes. Now, thinking about it, one of the things in the trailers when Mando and Norman are on a boat on a very water-like planet.
Right.
So I bet you that scene is going to come up in Chapter 11 in next episode because
we're definitely cycling through some of this trailer footage we have. Right?
Yeah.
Like we said, they seem to like to give us the trailer footage from the first couple of episodes to not give too much. And we've got, that trailer footage from last episode of the fight scene, the boxing match basically thing. We had the ship flying and the X-Wings in this one. So, yeah, it looks like we're already chewing our way through a couple of them.
Yeah, so we have very few clips left of the trailer. So I think they're all going to come in the next episode, and then we won't have any references for the last 5 episodes. So hopefully those last 5 and even next one, the 6 episodes that are left are going to be amazing. So I guess that's about it.
Yeah, that's it. Like I said, please let us know on the internet, all the different social medias accounts you can. Give us your input, drink recipes. Let us know what you thought of this episode, and give us your rating.
Yep.
You can
check out
us.
Ears Up.
That's right. Check out Ears Up on their website. Check them out on Patreon. Any amount of money that you want to donate to them per month is helpful to them, and by extension, helpful to us. They've been really helpful to us. They hook us up with equipment when we need it. They've been giving us great tips. So yeah, any help that you can give to them on Patreon is a help to us. That's about it. Try your best to listen to this on repeat at least 8 times instead of watching the news.
That's right.
Not only will that help your sanity, but it'll help our numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
And try the drink.
Try the drink. It's not great. I would not suggest the Canada Dry version. I think Rob's probably got
straight up
a
lemonade. Just normal lemonade is much better. Yeah.
Yeah, a little sweeter, a little less sharp of a taste. But
there you go.
Anyway, from the both of us here on Bantha Milk Podcast, I believe we have spoken.
We have spoken.